Gio, I am so thrilled that I get to have you on Voices of Stack. The first question I have for you is what compelled you to want to learn web development?
I started getting into web development kind of as a hobby. I had a full-time job. And then as that hobby kind of grew, I decided I wanted to take it a step further. And I kind of discovered Stack. And that's when I reached out and learned more about the program. And it kind of lined up with all the things I wanted to learn in terms of web development. So I thought it would be perfect. And I did the course and I loved it. So now here I am. I think it was maybe 2020, the beginning of 2020.
Okay.
I started kind of picking up some books and like watching YouTube videos. And then once I completed those books or finished those YouTube courses, that's when I kind of figured that I need to learn a little bit more advanced topics or kind of take it a step further. I think for some people they could do it. I think just for me, I needed that push, that
Mm,
constant, like the homework assignments. And there was a lot of topics that were a little bit confusing, and there was things I didn't really want to just tackle on my own without having an experienced programmer checking my work. Or and then I just thought being able to collaborate on projects would also like kind of beef up my resume or portfolio. And I just really need that push to get more done because
yeah.
I don't think I would have been able to do it all on my own.
It takes a very extraordinary person, I have to say, Gio, to have the discipline and the self-accountability to be able to drive, not just to learn a new skill, but frankly, to change a career, right? It's one thing to learn a new skill, and it's another thing to learn the skill to then change your career. So I think it's a very rare person that I am not that can do that all on their own. So you are not alone there, Gio. You're not alone there. Okay. So how do you think about in overcoming the stuff that's hard, overcoming the inevitable hiccups? So one way to manage that is through really great notes, right? So you can go and reference it. So if you're having an overwhelming class, or if there's something that you missed, you can go back to it. But is there anything else that you did? Is there a certain
Yeah.
mindset that you had? Is there something, some people step away from something when it's really frustrating and hard before they come back. What did you do so you
So
kept
that's a
going?
great point. Definitely stepping. There's so many times, even after the course, just if you get stuck on something and you hit a wall, you can definitely force yourself to power through it, and that works. It might take several hours to figure something out, or you could step away and sometimes just um, maybe taking a whole day and then just there's times where I randomly just kind of thought of the solution or something to try when I wasn't anywhere near my computer, and I got back to my computer and I tried it and it worked.
Absolutely. So I love these two pieces of advice you gave. One is that you need to, sure, you can power through, which I think a lot of people try, or you can step away. And I think that's something that people don't realize how powerful that tactic is. And I love that you quantified it. Like you said, look, take a day, go do something else. You are inevitably thinking about what you're stuck on, maybe not directly, but it's in the back of your mind and it's like kind of making its way through. And then all of a sudden, a thought comes to you and you run to your computer and there's the solution. I love that example. So, of course, in this program, we taught you the technical skills, right? But there was also another component, the professional acceleration piece, which, for lack of a better word, is the soft skills, which we always say are the harder skills to learn and master. I think a lot of people, look at soft skills and are like, ugh, I know this, or I don't need to learn this. Um, so why is it important to you? And what were your key learnings? And what would you say to people who are skeptical about needing, the professional acceleration piece? If they're just like, look, I just need the technical stuff. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of start in reverse and kind of say
Yeah.
that definitely it's worth it to do um, the post course
Hmm.
stuff. in meeting with you, getting pushed to reach out to people, because once that course is over, you're not really going to have that motivation on your own to reach out to, it could be hundreds of people applying to hundreds of jobs. And that's definitely something I knew I needed. And I was working full time, and I still focus on networking and committing to reaching out to a certain amount of people every day and applying to a certain amount of jobs every day. So I definitely think it's super important, and it not necessarily even just the people that are in your immediate meeting, but
Yeah.
people that have also done that job search
Yeah.
and have already found a job, or it could have been like the prior cohort or two cohorts before that. And just talking to your classmates and finding out what those issues are, and you'll find that everyone's running into the same um, kind of issues related to job searching and the same question.
So back to the professional acceleration piece, why do you think soft skills are important? Why is it an important part of the curriculum and learning?
Just knowing how to just have a conversation and knowing how to relate your coding experience to
Mhm.
um, what the recruiter is doing or what the hiring manager is doing at their job. So I just
Yeah.
think being able to kind of navigate um, the roles and
Yeah.
understanding um, how people's work histories kind of align with your history and what you can relate to and what questions to ask. And a lot of times, I mean, the first person you talk to might not be a developer, it might be a recruiter. So
Good
just
point.
knowing how to communicate your skills without getting too much into detail and kind of making them seem interested in you and wanting them to pass your resume along to the hiring manager, just knowing how to speak to them, I think is a good thing to learn, and definitely take advantage of when they bring recruiters in.
Okay, last two questions, and these are questions that I ask everyone in Voices of Stack. What advice would you give your younger self? And you can decide what age that younger self is. You should tell everyone so they know. But what advice would you give your younger self?
I would just say, I mean, if I was telling myself like after graduating high school or something, just try new things. Just always just like if something's interests you even a little bit, just kind of explore it. And then I mean, you might see something that you're like, oh, I could never do that, but you probably could.
Just keep all the doors open. I love that. I love that advice. And for someone who is at an inflection point professionally, what advice do you have for them to navigate this inflection point successfully?
I would say just you have to fully commit,
Mm.
and um, I don't think half committing is gonna really get you to where you need to be. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to force yourself to really commit and put yourself out there, or else it's not gonna work.
What about for those people who can't quit their job, who have to keep like whatever it is,
Right.
their full-time job, because they might have families to support, loan obligations, whatever else they might have to do. What advice would you have for them in doing the job search?
I'd say just in that sense, just fully commit to your whatever goals you set in the program. So if you're
Mhm.
doing applying to 15 jobs a week, then do the 15 jobs or go above and beyond the 15 jobs and reach out to, say, I'm going to reach out to at least 3 people on LinkedIn this week and just like fully commit to that. Because if you set a goal of 15 and you only applied to 7 and you didn't reach out to anybody, then you're not really helping yourself.
Mhm. Absolutely. So it sounds like, again, you're saying, look, if you aren't able to quit your job and you have to still have it, which many people do, break this down into bite-sized chunks.
Right.
Set your weekly goal and increase it, but you have to meet your weekly goal.
Right.
You
And
know,
that's kind of like why you're here, is because you can listen to what people's kind of situation is. And then you can say,
yeah,
okay, I know you have this job and you have children, or you're married and whatever, you have this lifestyle that you need to maintain. And then you can
yeah.
help them kind of set those goals, but you just have to fully commit to those goals.
That's right. That's right. Everyone has different circumstances. And so the thing is that that's what we take into account. We're like, okay, what are your circumstances? What's your reality? And we all ultimately have the same goal in the end, but based on your circumstances and your reality, we will give you different steps to take to get there. And
Right.
they might be different time frames depending on, circumstances. Um, so absolutely. Gio, this is so great. You have given such great, tangible, tactical, and inspiring advice for folks who are looking to make this transition. It's so timely as people, think about the new year ahead. I know this is a time when people are always setting, New Year's resolutions and goals. And so it's really wonderful to have this conversation with you, ready to offer to everyone else. So I am so grateful to you, Gio, constantly inspired. I'm glad that we have you as a part of the Stack community, because I know that everything that you have received from others, I know that you are definitely giving back and have already given back. So we're really grateful to have you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you set this up, and I highly recommend Stack to anybody who's remotely interested in coding and kind of wants to take that leap. So
I didn't pay you to say that.
yeah.
You said that on your own. You're the best, Gio. Thank you so much.